Hello, I'm Austin Wilson, Co-Portfolio Manager at Hixon Zuercher Capital Management.
And I'm Josh Robb, Director of Wealth Management at Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. Today we're going to be looking backwards at June and also forward at July to see what's going on in the market and the economy.
Absolutely. So, first up is the markets.
Yes.
For the month of June, the S&P 500, so 500 large cap U.S. companies, was up 6.5%.
That's pretty good.
That's a really good month
June.
to end the quarter. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, 30 large cap U.S. stocks, up 4.6%. Okay. The NASDAQ was up 6.6%. Small cap stocks, 7.9%.
Oh, wow.
Now, they hadn't done so well earlier in the year, so a little bit of a catch-up, but a really good month for small caps. Developed international stocks, they were up 2.6. Emerging market stocks, up 3.2. And bonds were just down a little bit, down 0.4%. But overall, a pretty good month.
Yep, good month of June. All right, so this was just recently in the news. This was early July, right before the 4th of July weekend. You may have saw it on the news, but a roller coaster got stuck upside down. Did you see this?
No.
It was called the Fireball, and it was in Crandon, Wisconsin at the Forest County Festival. But it had a mechanical failure as it was doing this loop, which then it's braked because that's the default, right?
And then it just got stuck.
Upside down.
Oh, man.
There were 8 people on there. Firefighters got there within 15 minutes.
So they were hanging upside down for within 15 minutes.
Yes, but wait for this. Because of where it was, they had to call bigger trucks with ladders. It took up to 45 minutes for that ladder truck to get there.
Imagine how their heads
The last person was rescued 5 hours later. They were hanging there for 5 hours. The first person got down like 2.5 hours. And then
sounds like
because they had to each one get them harnessed and release each belt and everything. It's crazy.
That sounds like an expensive lawsuit.
Probably. They were all, it seemed like everybody was okay. No injuries.
They have a headache?
Yeah. But what was crazy is there was a person there just at the festival that was a firefighter trained in like ropes rescue. Yeah. So he was able to help them throughout that process.
That's
crazy.
Wild.
Crazy.
In the latest billionaire drama.
Oh, billionaires.
Elon Musk, so CEO of, working out Twitter. Not being CEO of Twitter, but he bought Twitter, CEO of Tesla, world's richest man.
Yeah, has a rocket ship.
Oh, yeah, SpaceX, kind of a big deal. He and Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Meta Platforms, or Facebook, parent company of Facebook, have tentatively agreed, through social media posts, to a cage fight.
Ooh.
A cage fight, because they've had these years of quiet tensions, and now, you know, after Musk bought Twitter last year, there's been a lot of butting of heads of how the two platforms do business.
Didn't Facebook just launch a...
That's
sorry.
next,
Oh,
Josh. So,
Nothing.
We're going to get to that. Josh has a spoiler, but the question I have for you, so drop this in the comments, and for Josh, is who would you pick in the cage fight?
Well, if I remember right, Zuckerberg has been training in jiu-jitsu.
He has.
So I think that gives him an advantage. He's also taller.
Yeah.
And has a little bit more of a reach. So I think I would put it there. And younger. So I think that kind of leans towards
I also pick Zuck. However, I want to put the caveat out there that Musk has a dad bod.
Yeah.
And that should not be understated. Okay. So he's got the mass, I think, to at least survive.
Okay.
So he might do better than you think.
Okay. They're not in the same weight class, is what you're saying.
They're not in the same weight class. The dad bods have their own weight class. Okay. So anyway, that is the latest billionaire drama.
All right. Fireworks sales. They've really exploded. Oh my. See what I did there?
Okay, time out. So we live in town. We live in Findlay, Ohio.
Yes.
In town.
You're in town.
I guarantee you that 6 out of 7 nights a week, we hear fireworks in our neighborhood now. This is after the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just random weeknights.
Yep.
Why do we have this?
Let me tell you why. Because the American Pyrotechnics Association.
Oh, man.
So the APA, I don't know if that's what they go by, but the American Pyrotechnics Association tracked total weight of fireworks sales. Okay. I also have dollars, but first in weight. In 1976, when they were first starting to get popular, when some of the laws were changing to allow consumers to do these, Americans purchased 29 million pounds of fireworks.
1976.
In 2022, last time they had data, 461.7 million pounds of fireworks.
That's a lot of fireworks.
All right. Now, the consumer firework industry has seen revenue grow from 407 million in 2000 to $2.3 billion in 2022. That's consumers.
Doesn't
even
not
count
like
the big
municipalities.
shows. Because you add in the big fireworks shows, that's another $400 million.
Wow.
So that's why they're going off everywhere.
I always find it interesting that each state has different fireworks laws, right? So if you live in a state that fireworks are not legal, you can typically drive to the next state, and right across the border on the highway is a big fireworks store. It's hilarious. Now, it used to be Ohio, you go to Indiana, or vice versa. I don't remember, and it was that way. Yeah.
Now, I will say, so that increase, huge number.
It's explosive.
Now, injury rate is down almost 70% from 2000 to 2022.
Good job, people.
70% lower, and they attribute it to, one, regulations in the industry. So thicker shells, so less likely to have problems, more consistent in what you put in there, all that stuff, and just better overall safety regulations. So that's the plus side is, although we've seen an increase in fireworks sales,
less injuries.
Injuries have raised.
Still a lot of injuries.
Yes. So there you go.
Interesting. All right. So Josh alluded to it earlier as a spoiler. Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah.
There's a rivalry going on there. So Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta Platforms, has recently launched an app called Threads. So Threads is really an offshoot.
Sewing fanatics.
Yeah, sewing fanatics everywhere.
Get together and share yarns.
Threads is an app spun off of kind of the Instagram platform that is similar in many ways to Twitter. So this will kind of allow them to have... A lot of people view this as a more regulated Twitter-like platform because Twitter is private now and it's kind of the Wild West, and a lot of people have problems with that. And so Zuckerberg has tried to initiate a new platform with maybe a little bit more oversight.
Okay. Now, how much would you pay for a guitar?
Oh, don't.
If it's a nice guitar, really nice guitar,
really nice, thousands of dollars.
Okay. What if I told you a famous person played it?
More than
a little
that.
more?
Yeah.
Okay. What if I told you, though, it was broken and unplayable and put back together but had been...
It depends on the famous
person. So if I say it was Kurt Cobain.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Nirvana.
Yep. He has a black Fender.
Yeah.
It was sold in auction $596,000.
I don't doubt that.
Yep. Now, the funny thing about it is some of the band members signed it, which is great. But the funny thing is Kurt Cobain signed it. He wrote his name wrong. He also misspelled Nirvana, but then he gifted it to like a manager or something. But this was one he broke while making the album Nevermind.
Oh, that was their biggest album.
Yeah. So almost $600,000 for a broken guitar.
I don't doubt that. If you, it doesn't
even play it.
You're not even going to play it.
You're not going to play it.
You're going to put it in a box on the wall, really pretty, lit up and stuff like that. But famous people guitars, Josh, let me tell you what, are ridiculous. Like, Eddie Van Halen guitars, Jimi Hendrix guitars.
Lefty.
And any of the... Well, he played a right-handed guitar. Upside down. That's crazy. So, yeah, you're a lefty. You get that. So anyway, that is why that is that way. Probably a jazz master with humbuckers in it. That's probably what he did.
There you go.
All right. So number 4, inflation. We're going to continue to talk about inflation. It cooled, which is good. Slightly more than expected in April, in May, which is the data we got in June.
Okay.
Headline CPI. 4% year over year. That's a lot better than we were seeing.
9.1
last year. Was 9, so now we're at 4, down from 4.9% the last month. And if you take out food and energy, core CPI was 5.3% year over year. So higher than regular inflation, and that's because energy was actually bringing things down. It's the way that works. If you look at PCE, so that's personal consumption expenditures, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, it was even cooler than expected, up only 0.1% month over month, with headline up 3.8% year over year, and core up 4.6%. So inflation is cooling. It's heading in the right direction. The Fed would say, which we're going to get to, not as fast as they want, but the right direction.
All right. Austin, you been to a library?
Not in a long time.
Do you ever have an overdue library book?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe when I was a kid.
Yeah. So the Massachusetts Library just got one of their books back. It was overdue.
Oh, no.
Guess how long?
20 years.
119 years later.
109. Yes. So it was like
it was checked out in Valentine's Day of 1904.
Okay.
And they discovered this actually in a West Virginia library there was a curator of rare books was going through a donation box and found this and was like, oh, wait, this is still checked out, and contacted the Massachusetts library and was like, hey, do you want this back? So the Massachusetts library charges a late fee of 5 cents per day.
Okay.
So that would have been a total fine of $2,100. But they have a rule that it caps at $2. So it wasn't too bad of an overdue fine.
So $2 is that's the crossing point.
Oop, that's it. At that point, it's over.
So 80 days, is that what that would be?
Yeah, that's probably
80 days.
So this guy checked out his book on electricity back in 1904, something new.
Revolutionary.
And they think it just got passed down in his family, generation to generation. Nobody knew it was an overdue book.
That's crazy.
Until he donated.
Oh, my goodness. Last but not least for me, the Federal Reserve. Talked about inflation, got to talk about the Fed.
Yep.
They paused in June.
Paused,
which means there was no rate hike for the first time since early 2022, which is the first pause. So this is the first sign of the slowing of their monetary tightening policy after they had 10 rate hikes in a row, 10 meetings in a row. Now, the interesting thing is that right now they continue to reiterate the fact that there's probably more rate hikes on the way, 1 to 2, and they continue to be very, very hawkish because inflation, while it's coming down a lot,
not as fast.
It's still not as low as they want it to be, and they have not yet broken the economy. The economy's still going along.
Chugging along.
Labor market's very strong, so they think they can continue to tighten monetary policy.
All right. Last one I have, 4th of July.
Yeah.
Hot dog eating contest. Famous.
Oh, no, yeah.
But let me go somewhere else. Florida. They have a key lime pie eating contest.
Whoa.
I love key lime pie.
It's
good.
It's pretty good.
I like it. And the reason I like this, the winner, Josh Mogul. Another Josh.
Yeah.
Good guy. 38-year-old guy.
How much pie did he
tire
eat?
manufacturing manager.
Okay.
Is what he does. But on the side, this guy eats pie. All right?
And that's
he had a
diabetes.
9-inch pie, right? And they're not allowed to use their hands. You've seen those pie eating contests, right? He ate it in 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay.
Beat 24 other contestants. They asked him, what's your strategy? Here's his strategy. Eat, eat, eat. Always have pie in your mouth. That seems like a good strategy.
That's it.
I think
How
that
do you
works.
lose with that?
But, I mean, to tell you what, that's a sweet pie, though. That's a
I know.
lot
In
of
3
pie.
minutes?
Ugh. So, hopefully he has some Tums or something afterwards.
I mean, think about his blood sugar spike.
That's just
after
a lot of sugar in there.
He's going to be like, shaking like crazy.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. As a reminder, nothing we talked about today is a recommendation.
Especially eating a whole pie.
That's not a recommendation. Some pie in moderation is good, though.
Yes.
But if you have any questions about your financial situation, feel free to give us a call at 419-425-2400 or email us at hello@hzcapital.com. And until next month, thank you.
Yep.
Have a good one. Bye.
Josh Robb and Austin Wilson work for Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. All opinions expressed by Josh, Austin, or any guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed. There is no guarantee that the statements, opinions, or forecasts provided herein will prove to be correct. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Indices are not available for direct investment. Any investor who attempts to mimic the performance of an index would incur fees and expenses which would reduce returns. Securities investing involves risk, including the potential for loss of principal. There is no assurance that any investment plan or strategy will be successful.